George.
So what?
But after 50 years
What?
of fighting over nothing,
What?
so
What?
they finally found something.
Holy, oh my God, moly.
Worth fighting for.
See, women get obsessed with me. It's like one of them fatal attraction things.
For my shirt. For my shirt. So sexy. It hurts.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Jack Lemmon,
Your cat crapped on my steps again.
Yeah, who says you can't train a cat?
Walter Matthau,
Why would a woman come over at 1:30 in the morning to see you?
Just why do you think, bonehead? Oh my God.
and Margaret.
John, when was the last time you made love?
October 4th, 1978.
Grumpy old men.
This is Chip Cod Roach. I hope I did a good little grumpy impression there. And speaking of that, I will be reviewing the 1993 winter classic that came out, I believe, on Christmas Day, Grumpy Old Men.
It's you, an eggshell.
Yes, it is. And when I'm older, maybe I will look like Walter Matthau. That is one of the people that are starring, and I will be reviewing that right after this.
I can't believe they went with the frogs.
Louis.
Our audition was flawless.
Louis.
We did the look. Huh? We did the tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Louis, frogs sell beer. That's it, man. Number one rule of marketing.
The Budweiser Lisbons. We could have been
Hey,
huge.
there'll be other auditions.
Oh yeah, for what? This was Budweiser, honey.
Uh-huh.
This was big. Those frogs are gonna pay.
Let it go, Louis. Let it go.
And this is Chip Cod Roach. After I just got done fighting with the stupid smart Alexa that everybody loves, I am now becoming a grumpy young man.
You are old, so this goes well with you.
No, not that old.
You are old.
So anyways, like I said, I am reviewing in my opinion, the 1993 classic, Grumpy Old Men, starring the great Walter Matthau.
Who?
He really shouldn't need an introduction.
Well, he does.
Well, apparently he needs an introduction, so here we go. Walter Matthau, he was in the movie Charade.
Never seen it.
I knew that was coming. He was in The Odd Couple Part 2.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
Not surprised. Let's see. He was also in Dennis the Menace.
Never seen it.
Oh boy, really? Wow, you would like that one. He was later in Hanging Up. You don't want to see that one.
Never seen it.
Unfortunately, that was his last movie. He did. Oh yeah, he was in JFK, Out to Sea.
Never seen it. Never seen it. Give me Daisy back.
And also, as we're breaking things,
I ain't breaking Daisy. Just your leg.
Let's see. Then there's also the very talented Jack Lemmon, who was in Some Like It Hot.
Nope.
The Legend of Bagger Vance. He was also in JFK, Out to Sea, The Odd Couple Part 2.
Nope.
Really?
Yes, really.
He was also in the movie Dad with Ted Danson.
Nope.
Oh yes, and Walter Matthau was also in IQ. He played Albert Einstein in that
Nope.
movie. I had to mention that one. Sorry, I forgot it. Buck Henry is also in this movie as a beloved IRS collector.
Who?
Buck Henry's okay. You probably don't know him. He is a writer. He hosted Saturday Night Live a couple times.
Never seen it.
He was actually really good.
Nope.
There's Kevin Pollak, who was in A Few Good Men.
Who?
He was in The Whole 9 Yards, The Whole 10 Yards.
What?
Kevin Pollak.
Nope.
No idea.
Nope.
He was in Grumpier Old Men. Obviously the sequel to this.
There's another one?
Yeah.
One wasn't bad enough?
Oh, boy, wow. It drew a quick shot. Didn't even see any clips yet.
Well, if it's anything like you, I don't want to.
Okay, well, you're going to be very surprised. You are gonna laugh. A
No,
lot.
I bet.
Oh, you will. Trust me.
Okay.
There's even a scene in this that will remind you of me.
That's not helping.
Oh, it will. And also, Daryl Hannah is in this. She was in Splash.
Who?
She played a mermaid. She was in Wall Street.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
She was also in Grumpier Old Men.
Never seen it.
Let's see here. Who else do we have in this movie? Oh, yes. Ozzie Davis. He was in Dr. Dolittle.
Nope, never
He
seen
was
it.
in Do the Right Thing.
Nope, never seen it.
Never saw that either. Okay. Oh, and how can I forget the very talented Burgess Meredith? He was in Rocky 1, 2, and 3. He was
Nope.
the Penguin in
Nope.
the 60s Batman. He was in Foul Play.
Nope. How about something I watched?
He was in You have never seen him then.
Okay, then.
He was in Grumpier Old Men. And then, of course, Christopher McDonald, who was in Happy Gilmore. And I believe he was also in Flubber.
Nope and nope.
Okay. And then Anne Margaret is the girl in this. She is the love interest. She was in Any Given Sunday.
Nope.
And she was also in Grumpier Old Men.
Nope.
Okay, well, we will leave it at that. So, Grumpy Old Men. This takes place in Minnesota, so yes, expect it to be cold. It was actually filmed in Minnesota as well. This was on a studio with fake snow. So this must have been a movie that I would not want any participation in. If they asked me to do this, I would either ask for a lot of money or I would run. So, pretty much you have two next door neighbors, Max Goldman and I call him Gustafson. Well, that's his last name. I just like to call him that because I like to say it. So they do live next door to each other, and they don't get along very well. They were childhood friends. Women played a part in them becoming very angry at each other. And a lady moves into the neighborhood, and they both have a crush on her. I almost said him. And and then they tend to take things to the next level. So yes, there's lots of little pranks in here. Let's just say there's a lot of sexual jokes in here as well. And they also, the one thing they do have in common, besides chasing the same woman, is they do like fishing. In this case, it would be ice fishing. So they both have shanties. They go to them. Max always brags about how he catches the most fish. He shoves it in Gustafson's face. Oh yes, and Gustafson's first name is John. Maybe I'll just call him that instead. So, and then John Gustafson only catches a couple, and then he says that he throws back whatever he's not going to eat. So that's just a whole other argument on its own. So I'm not going to say what he does with one of the fish because I want to show that in one of the clips. So I'm actually going to shut up now, and I'm going to show you the first clip.
It's about time.
You could say that loud. Well, this is the opening scene here, and hopefully you laughed just as hard as I did. I thought this was kind of funny. Oh, you found it. You must have found that kind of funny. I like how he mentions the men's strip club in front of the IRS. I mean, and then there is a little scene of the IRS after that that's kind of amusing. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but yeah, it was a little funny. I know you're raising your hand because you would like to spoil what just happened to him, but that did not happen. So this was also directed by Donald Petrie. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. He did direct Richie Rich, Miss Congeniality, My Favorite Martian. He also did a few TV shows. He did a couple episodes of Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. He started out with that dumb show, MacGyver, in the 80s. And then he also did How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So those are a few of them that he did direct. So this guy has done some movies that I'm sure people have heard of before. So I will do the next clip, and this is pretty much me in a nutshell when I did live up in Buffalo when they were predicting snow. So now I will kindly ask Alexa to turn the lights off. Hopefully just one time. Alexa, turn off the lights. Well, it's on camera. This is what I'm dealing with. Alexa, turn off all the lights. Well, this is actually what I used to do to our weatherman when it was Kevin O'Connell, who was a little soggy around the midsection. You couldn't even see the weather map because his gut was in the way. Well, it's true. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, although he would like that. Especially a sugar-coated donut. Him and Ebert could share it. So yes, this was the scene here with the weatherman, and so pretty much this whole movie is going to be taking place in the snow. Obviously, it's going to be winter the whole movie. Welcome to Minnesota, folks. So this is a small town, which does make the movie. It has like that cool small town effect to it, where everybody kind of knows everybody kind of deal. So I'm actually going to show the part where they go ice fishing and they visit Chuck, who owns the bait shop. So now we get to see the bait shop and where they go to ice fish, which I actually think is kind of cool that these guys do have a hobby. It gives them somewhere to go in the morning instead of, I don't know, doing something else. They take advantage of the winter, I guess. So good for them. They have their little fun ice fishing. So I will show you that scene in just a second.
Would you do that?
No. No. Regular fishing, fine. But ice fishing, no. I actually had a friend that I worked with at the supermarket who liked the cold. And he said that ice fishing pretty much sucked. He hated it. So, but if these guys get a kick out of doing it, and they obviously have a group and a community that they hang out with, so I think it's kind of cool. So if they can do it, do it. Now hopefully Alexa will turn off the lights. So this is Chuck, who owns the bait shop, and yeah, I would buy the jerky anyway. That sounds like a good ice fishing kind of thing to eat. So that was Chuck, and then later on we met his father, and he was mentioning how he did not have some recreational fun with his new next door neighbor. So that was an interesting conversation. We did not get that on camera, so that is a conversation that, well, we didn't get all of it. So you'll have to see that part for yourself if you end up seeing this on one of the streaming services. Warner Brothers does own this movie, so I'm sure you can find it on some streaming service that is out there. So now that he did go ice fishing, we saw the actual work that is done when you get into these ice fishing shacks. He had to obviously drill down in the ice just to make a hole. So hopefully no fish were hurt in the process. So we will see how they did in just a second.
Go to work, baby.
All right, well, this is a funny part here. I do enjoy this, how he just has a couple pieces of fish, and then Max comes out of his truck, and he pretty much yells, "The Green Hornet strikes again." And he pretty much said he caught his limit, and then he made fun of...
He did not pretty much say, he did say.
Yeah, he did. He pretty much said, I caught a lot more fish than you did, John. So, I thought this part was funny. I was told that Max was being a different kind of name. What did you call him?
I can't say that on camera.
Oh, you said it every other time. Every time there's a character you don't like.
My bad. He's a douche.
So then John Gustafson decides to put a fish in his truck.
I would have to.
This ends up being a very funny prank, and I will try to show that as a clip at some point. So now we are going to meet Ariel 2X, the neighbor. She shows up to the local pharmacy as John Gustafson and Max are talking about their, I guess we'll say, old men problems. And I will show that clip in just a second.
Shingles, schmingles. When I had my ulcers, I was farting razor blades.
Yours, John.
Huh?
Oh, you must be Max Goldman. Hi, I'm Ariel Truax, and your neighbor.
Pleasure.
Isn't it a peach of a day?
So this is the part with the pharmacy. So they're talking about shingles and gallstones, and so then Ariel walks in and kind of destroys that conversation. I'm sure the dorky pharmacist was probably relieved at this. Problem is, he was eyeing up Ariel Truax like she was like the prince did in The Little Mermaid. He was pretty much eyeing her up and down in front of, I believe that was his wife. So dorky Earl acted like a jerk when she pretty much asked for her thermal, whatever it was, her herbal supplements of her
It's
herbal
oil.
lotion or whatever it was.
That's oil.
Oil. Oh, sorry. Okay, oil. Yes, and dorky Earl got all awkward and weird in front of his wife. So that ended the whole painful pharmaceutical problem things between the old guys. But this part was kind of amusing and it was funny. So we will get to meet John Gustafson's daughter and his granddaughter in just a second. So this was the part with the lottery. I don't think he won. But he did get some nice little commercials in there. I actually do remember those little Muppets. That was a Little Caesars commercial, believe it or not.
Ew.
Yeah, well, Little Caesars was bigger back then than it.
Ew.
Yeah, we had lots of them. They would, yeah, it's just cheap pizza. So then he does. So then he does get caught, and yes, that is Max Goldman's son that was with him, Captain Buzzkill, running for mayor. His son does not have a very good sense of humor. I guess this is the typical thing where the main actor is really funny and his kid is just a deadbeat, no sense of humor type of person, like in Back to School. Rodney Dangerfield's son was more boring than a 7th grade science teacher. So I guess it's like this in this movie as well. Even Gustafson's daughter doesn't really have a good sense of humor either. She's kind of a serious person as well. So, and yes, Jacob does have something for her as well, as you'll find out. So, and I'm sure you're all wondering what happened to that dead fish in Max Goldman's car. Well, we're about to find out. I'm sure it smells lovely. Oh, so I guess she just snuck into his house. He must not leave his door locked. And where he was, unfortunately, Chuck did pass away, and he did have a meeting with the IRS, so that's where he was. So his day obviously wasn't very good, but Ariel was there to greet him, even though it was with a knife. It was in a nice way. She is cooking him dinner, and they seem to hit it off. And a couple dates later, obviously, they had their third date, so we all know what that means. So they did the sealing of the relationship. And Max pretty much knows what that means too, and he's not happy about it. So he decides to pay John a visit when he's ice fishing, all nice, calm, and relaxed. And we will find out what happens. I hope you enjoy the scene as much as I do, because I was cheering for Max. So I found this part pretty funny. And now Max is the one that doesn't have he has no moral principles. He just decided to take the truck and just plow his shanty, and it just went right into thin ice and just sank. So there's a lot of belongings that good old John had in there, like his record player, his comfy chair, and I think he had some beer in there as well. So now his dad's going to be very unhappy because I'm sure he used to steal his beer. Probably his jerky as well. So all that is lost. So Max does try to stab him with a fish, which I found hilarious, but because obviously he did lose the battle, so Ariel is now with John Gustafson, and after this scene here, a lot did happen. His house is being taken by the IRS. They have to sell his house to get back taxes. He also did have a heart attack. That happened on Christmas Eve. And Melanie's husband is now back in the picture. So all this is going on. So I will show the final clip, and this is the IRS and how his house is saved. But like I said, John is in the hospital with a heart attack. So what happens to him, I'm not going to tell you. So I will show you the final clip in just a second. The final scene here. Wouldn't you love to do this to an IRS agent? I would. I just love how Max's son did not find this funny at all. Like I said, he is Mayor Buzzkill at his best. I did like how he shoved how he tossed a fish into his car as well. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But I did find this movie pretty funny. But there are a couple stooges that did review this movie. So I will show you, of course, their opinion first. They have been out of the last couple videos, but they kind of stumbled their way back into my picture here. So I will show you that in just a second. I just have to find it first.
Lemon and Walter Matthau. This time they're neighbors in a snowbound Minnesota town who have had a lifelong love-hate relationship. Sometimes that rivalry gets completely out of hand, as in this scene where they come to blows while ice fishing. They have to be separated by Lemon's father, who is still alive and played here by Burgess Meredith as a man who has been separating these two for maybe 70 years.
Now go to your shanties, all of you. Just scaring the fish away. Damn kids.
Lemon lives in fear of a visit from the Internal Revenue Service, which is why he tries to climb out the window when the doorbell rings in the middle of the night. In love with her, and jealousy is the fuel for more fun. Meanwhile, the children of the grumpy old men, played here by Daryl Hannah and Kevin Pollak, have had crushes on each other since adolescence, but have never done anything about it.
I always knew, you know.
Know what?
That you had a crush on me since 6th grade.
Old Men contains a great deal of innate charm from Lemon, Matthau, and all of the other cast members, but charm is not enough. You begin to realize there's no reality in the characters. They live their lives either standing in front of their houses or peeking out from behind the curtains because they actually have no lives except those supplied by the requirements of the script and dialogue. Everything seems like a sitcom setup, and you can't help reflecting that Minnesota is a pretty big state, and Anne Margaret ought to be able to find someone to date without getting trapped between just these two grumpy old men.
Yeah, now we're back in agreement. And, I felt that I was watching two Hollywood veterans, frankly, just walk through a very familiar situation for them. I didn't feel that they had, and not for a second, was anything specific about these characters written for them, and they didn't play that way. I didn't laugh at all. I thought that they were just cashing a paycheck. Coming up next, Oscar winner Anthony Hopkins.
Well, that was a crappy review. I thought they would have at least laughed once, but once again, I am not really shocked by this. They liked Beavis and Butthead, but they did not like Grumpy Old Men. And Fat Ebert liked Cop and a Half, but he didn't like Grumpy Old Men. And apparently, boring Gene Siskel didn't laugh one time. I guess they were just cashing a paycheck. Well, Walter and Jack, why don't you cash those paychecks and say, hey, we make more than you two dummies. That's what I would have done. But I honestly thought this movie was hilarious. I don't know what these guys were watching, or if they didn't watch it at all. Gene Siskel was probably doing something else, probably getting offended by whatever they were saying. And Ebert was probably shocked that Aunt Margaret was he was probably shocked that they were trying to date anybody, because I don't think Ebert ever has had a date. But that's just my thought. He doesn't look like he has, anyways. He doesn't look like he can lift solid oak. So that is my whole take on
Who are you talking about with that one?
I use your imagination. Ebert. Yeah, I mean Ebert he looks like a frog, so of course it looks like he can't lift solid oak. He looks like the Budweiser frogs, the commercial that I showed earlier in the thing. So this is the this is the Ebert segment of my little show here that I do like to show from time to time. So if I had to give this movie a grade, I would actually give it a B+. I thought this was funny. It tied in Thanksgiving and Christmas at the same time, which is why I wanted to do this. So I do recommend this movie. I'm almost positive you can stream it on something, or else yes, you'll have to do my typical eBay pitch or my flea market or garage sale. Because you could actually buy, I believe, the 2 movies for like $5 or even cheaper than that. But yes, I do think that this is a holiday must-see. There's a lot worse holiday movies out there. This is one of the better ones.
What's the worst one you ever seen?
What, the worst Christmas movie? Oh, Jingle All the Way.
Never seen it.
Don't. Don't. Oh, and Deck the Halls is probably that's a good runner-up. When that's too.
Do they go together? They sound like they should go together.
I did buy it for somebody. That then they had the 2 movies together. They had Jingle All the Way and Deck the Halls as a 2 for 1 deal at the Walmart bargain bin. And it's too bad because Deck the Halls had Matthew Broderick in it and Danny DeVito, and they ended up screwing it up. So those are probably the 2 worst holiday movies I saw. Yeah, I think those would definitely be the worst. The Hallmark holiday movies beat those up really bad. I'm not a Hallmark fan, but I would much rather watch those than those 2 movies.
Oh, you'll be watching lots of those, so it's okay.
I'm sure I will.
You will. I got lots of them recorded.
So now I will ask the audience, even though I haven't been getting comments, what is your favorite Thanksgiving or Christmas movie? Please comment below and subscribe if you want, and thank you for watching.
What's your favorite?
Favorite? Oh, that's a horrible question.
What's my favorite?
My favorite Thanksgiving movie is probably Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
Never heard of it.
That's an easy one.
Christmas?
The original Miracle on 34th Street has to be on that list.
What's mine?
Your favorite Christmas movie? The thing is, I don't know what year it was. I know it's that Christmas Carol, but I don't know what. I don't know what year you liked. I don't know if it was the 60s or the 80s.
I think I like both. I don't know which one I like more, though. I gotta watch both.
I do like most of the Christmas Carol movies. I like the original one, and of course I like Muppet Christmas Carol.
No. Alright, I'm good.
But I think that's pretty much mine. But I would really like to hear what your favorite Christmas movie is, or Thanksgiving movie. I know there's not a lot of Thanksgiving movies to choose from, but if you can think of any, please let me know. So I will end it there. Thank you very much for watching.